Another week, another change, another prop.
Yeah, what is up with the shoes, my friend?
I'm Jim Gazzolo.
You're not wearing these?
King of the Southland, I call you. King of the Southland.
No.
The prop is very simple. We did the rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
We did the rabbit out of the hat. They're not all gems. So now we've got the ruby slippers. Are you going to click them and say there's no place like home?
Hey,
you understand the reference at least?
We're very excited with how things worked out. We're excited to be in the Southland with the new direction.
You should be.
The new direction and the new energy that's in there and the plan that they have. We're excited to be a part of it and help rebuild it.
You should be. You created it. Is it Schroederville now?
No. It was a team effort, honestly. It was a crazy day. We're going to have Dr. Burckel on later, and Dr. Roos and I are in the car, and, you know, we had multiple conversations with Dr. Burckel, and it was an unbelievable day. It was one of the days, honestly, Jim, in my career I'll never forget, because it was literally down to the minutes when all this thing broke, and we made the decision. But we're happy again, we're happy with where we are. I think that more importantly, our university, our department, but got better. But the thing I think that people don't talk about as much as, or enough, I should say, is what Dr. Burckel and Dr. Roos and I talked about of what this decision can do for our community. And
I think people are talking about that.
For Southwest Louisiana. I mean, it's going to bring millions of dollars over the next few years
I got a little heat for some things I said about that, so that happens.
But you get heat for everything.
But that's you.
I mean, you are Darth Vader, so how can you not get heat?
I think you guys have done more for the recovery than even the mayor and other politicians. As of right now, getting actual dollars in.
I don't know about any of that. I just know that this decision that we made, that held a lot of weight for us.
How's it playing in the league?
I mean, hey, you know, I say it all the time. Okay, I'm not going to answer that question, but I will say this: is I live, and this is a statement I've had. I live in Lake Charles. I live in Southwest Louisiana, and my boss is McNeese State and Dr. Burckel. And I'm going to do everything in my power.
So long as they're happy.
Everything I can do to help where I live. My loyalty lies with those two people.
And you did put a target on your team's back, so.
Yeah, for sure. But that's okay. But tell me this, though.
Yes.
But really, when you think, and I say it all the time, and you always make fun of me, but there is no place. I've been all over the country. There's no place like Southwest Louisiana and Lake Charles. We have...
There's the slippers.
We have unbelievable facilities. We have 5-star restaurants, we have casinos, we have hotels, we have everything you need that anybody would love to have Lake Charles and McNeese in their league and use this as a place which is centrally located within the Southland. Our potential is through the roof, and I'm really, really excited for our community that we're able to bring these tournaments here.
No, the amazing thing is you also got the zero buyout.
For an FBS, for sure, for an FBS conference. And you know, make no mistake, our goal remains the same, and that is to find a pathway to FBS football through, you know, and we were very transparent with the Southland. Obviously, there's 2 leagues that are in our geographical footprint that make sense. And, you know, and who knows where all this ends, you know, a couple years from now. But the nice thing is we were very honest and very transparent with the Southland, and that still remains our goal.
And you got the Southland to the first time admit that they're just an FCS conference and they understand this. I mean, Tom Burnett actually said to me, we want to partner with these guys, and if we got schools that want to move up, we don't want to stand in their way. They would never have said that before.
Well, I don't think they were ever at a point where they needed to say that, because, I mean, for the longest time, there was no movement like it's been in the last year. I mean, we've said it on this air before, Jim. College athletics in the last 12 months, 18 months, it's like no time in history. So, but I think now, you know, everything has changed, and I think now the Southland and other leagues you know, see what college athletics is, and you know. But I think that I'm really happy with, like I said, the new energy that's within the league and the new vision that they really laid out, and you know, we're just really happy to be a part of helping rebuild it.
Well, before Dr. Burckel and some of the other things we'll talk about, I want to address something that needs to be addressed here.
Oh boy!
If you're going to sit on, I'm going to say this one, if you're going to sit on press row There is no cheering on press row.
No. It's
you
hard.
You can't stand up and cheer.
Why?
Because that's just.
Hold on a second. I'm watching our women's team play. They made 17 three-pointers in a game.
You're trying to
school
slap me
record.
high five. I can't do that.
Well, you know what? I'm excited about our basketballs. Hey, where's it written that the athletic director can't stand up and cheer for their team? Is that the gym's rule book?
Sure.
Okay.
All right,
well, I guess what? I don't follow your...
We'll learn more about rules when we come back with Dr. Burckel right after this.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. It's a pleasure and honor to have Dr. Burckel, President. Welcome back.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Coach. Good to see you.
Well, first of all,
Jim?
what do you think of our set? What do you think of the set?
I love the slippers.
How about there you go?
I love the slippers.
I
caught it.
By the way, he
it.
thought Cinderella was.
But
the
we are now back in Kansas.
Yeah, yeah.
But a different Kansas.
Yeah, well, busy week.
Busy week.
So I think everyone would like to know, from a president's perspective, all the movement and everything that went on last week, from a president's perspective, what was it like?
I tell you what, you want to have integrity through the whole process, but there are things you can't share, things you can't say. And that's very conflicting when you're talking with other presidents about what you're doing, where you're going. You're trying to hold your cards close to your vest.
Sure.
And so that was the hardest part.
No
dealing with your counterparts,
right,
and trying to be as open and honest as possible without, maybe playing your hand so far. So, they all knew, though, that we were looking. I told them at the very front end, we had a president's meeting back in September, and I said, if you're not looking and other opportunities for your programs right now, you're doing a disservice to your school. Everyone needs to be thinking about how the deck is going to fall out. So I let them know that we were looking. They were a little bit taken by surprise that we talked about maybe going to the WAC, and then that changed.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was changing. Like you said, you and Wade were on a trip going to Texas, and the situation was changing hourly. As we talk and we keep up, things were changing, and by that Monday night, we still were not sure. We were cutting a deal with, you were cutting a deal with the Southland Conference to keep us there. Otherwise, if we leave and Cornet Word leaves, there is no more Southland Conference.
Right.
And so, we took advantage of the situation to a point, but we believe that the Southland Conference is going to be better. I told people that we were going to look, and if at the end of the day the Southland Conference is the best place for McNeese to be, then we're going to be there.
Right. You also said, though, you would not go back to the same
Southland Conference. That's right.
It has to be better, and it has to have a better, at least view of what's going on. So when did that change? Because to the naked eye, it's same schools.
Yeah.
Same situation, same commissioner. When does the inside change that you knew, okay, we're going in a different direction?
I think when Heath cut the deal, they understood that there was a different direction that the schools needed to go, and that we were gonna take a different tact. We're gonna become more aggressive, be the pursuer or the hunter, not the hunted, and we were gonna start taking the conference to a different place, and that we're gonna wind up maybe even looking at rebranding the conference. It may not be the Southland Conference. We may be trying to attract others to a different name, different brand, to try to grow this conference.
Not the Schroyer Athletic Conference.
It's not the
Please, not the Schroyer Athletic Conference.
I'll tell you this, though. Chris Grant, the deputy commissioner, and I've mentioned him multiple times, was phenomenal through this entire
It was very good.
I think the best thing that Tom has done in a long time is hired Chris and took the restraints off and let him go run and do what he does, and he was phenomenal.
Well, I think the difference is, for the first time, the league has accepted what it is, which is it is a FCS league with groups of schools that may want to move up.
Sure.
And before it was always nobody ever wants to move up.
So they
People
moved
do
out.
want to move up.
So they moved out.
They moved
That's
out.
right. That's right.
And they were leaving. And reality was they were leaving for other FCS conferences. They weren't even. They were leaving for the hope of getting to FBS.
Yeah.
Here you're in a situation where you're going to leave only for an FBS.
Well, and I think what's important too, and I know I mentioned it in the opening segment, but through the conversations that Dr. Burckel and I had with Dr. Roos in the car, and Dr. Burckel kept talking about the financial impact that these tournaments can have on a community that is still rebuilding. That's what people don't understand, especially within our state, all across the country, is this community is still hurting. What did that mean to you?
Have you heard from the city? Have you heard from the city?
I spoke with Nick Hunter the other day and congratulated us on bringing that to the city. He was very excited, very happy about that. But yeah, I mean, when you think about hurricane recovery, and look, I've experienced it with my own home. I'm not in my home after a year. I know people that you know, are struggling and working, trying to get themselves back on their feet. You know, this means a lot when you start bringing in 8 teams and everything that goes with those teams, those fans, for all of these tournaments, both men and women's, baseball, softball, both in all these will be taking place in the spring. So it'll be a very busy spring. Summertime, we'll have the football press conference here, the presser here. So for us, bringing this to the city, helping the city, it really gives a standing and a status to Lake Charles that we haven't found elsewhere. It's better than being in Houston, better than being somewhere else doing these.
I agree with
better
that.
playing than in Katy. We think the experience, the student experience, is going to go up. And the fan experience will go up when we have these on campus.
Is your arena going to be big enough if this thing grows?
Oh, 100%. And think about it. I mean, you think about the optics. And this is what I said to Chris way back when. I said, when we were talking about this, is when you have ESPN on campus and you're filming in a 4,200 seat arena and it's packed, what does that look like across the country? Because our championship game is one of the last ones played on championship week. So everyone's tuning in. What does that look like? If you do it in Katy or in a neutral site in a huge arena and it looks half empty, what does that say about the league?
Yeah.
The optics of this league are really, really important. And I think that's been ignored for so long. The moving it to our campus, which we have the best facility, is going to do nothing but enhance the league.
When we come back on Poke Nation, we're going to get into what it means for the school for all this to be happening right after this. We're back with McNeese president, Dr. Burckel, who, for some reason, sports is now the only thing anybody talks about with their school. But before I get into all that stuff, I want to know, what does this mean for the school? Because I've seen a lot of people have talked about, as the exposure becomes, in comes the applicants, in comes the other people see it. What does this mean?
Well, we believe that the athletics brands us. It's the front porch to the institution. And people see McNeese more through athletics than they see it through anything else. And that's even students, prospective students. So for us, we see this as a way for us to lift our brand, to get our brand exposure that you look for in all of your advertising, right? Every bit of your advertising, whether it's digital, billboard, television, however you do it, you're trying to get exposure. And this gives us great exposure to prospective students, to parents, and to areas that we would probably not even think about. So we think it's going to be a great thing for the institution.
Well, undoubtedly it will be, especially athletically.
Yeah.
But I also want to ask you this, because I've gone through a lot of colleges. I've looked at what colleges do as they progress. One thing I think is that people don't know is you kind of need a dorm for athletes, don't you? Is that a next step, or is that something you guys look at? Or?
Yeah, we have a 5-year plan through all of the storms. We're coming back, like we said, with a new press box. We're coming back with a new baseball facility and training facility, clubhouse training facility that'll be in left field. We're coming back with a new college of education, and then a new student union. And so when as all that comes in, we're going to start putting in new student apartments, student housing, both on campus and directly right across from campus. So yes, that is a big portion. We have 400 student athletes that we want to get back on campus, that we want them there. And so we already have a demand for our housing. So yeah, it's a big component.
Yeah.
Well, you think about, too, like the neat thing, everything that the president is trying to do is to advance the institution. So you look at the block parties. We talked about that before. Now you look at the championships that are going to be hosted here and the eyeballs that gets, all the people, all the communities all the other league members that come to Lake Charles. It just helps advance the institution. And athletics has always been the front porch of every institution, or most institutions, and the marketing tool.
Yeah, we don't see athletics as independent from the institution.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's this
Well,
athletic
that
program,
is the
here's this
difference
academic.
from your administration from other administrations.
Right. No, athletics is an integral part of the academic side of the house.
And let me ask you this, does this feel like the first time where McNeese is being rewarded for being with the Southland Conference for 50 years?
I think it's been 50 years, and I think McNeese for many, many years has been taken for granted in many ways. That we're going to be here, we're always going to be here.
Is that the league's fault or McNeese's fault?
No, that's our fault. That's our fault. And so, you know, when we decided that we were going to go FBS, we want FBS football. I think that raised the stakes for everybody. And it put us in a position that we want something more. We're just not content being where we are. So even though we're in the Southland Conference, we're still looking for a path to FBS football. That could be as an independent, that could be leaving for another conference, should something like that happen. But we want to be FBS football.
And I think the interesting thing is you're out there saying it for the first time. Now I got a question from fans, because fans have asked me about this. You riled up a fan base like never before. They were excited to leave. This is a dormant fan base that would say, oh, the Southland. You've riled them up like never before, and you kind of pulled the rug out a little bit. You're bringing in the same schools. What about the fans that say we're kind of bored with what we see? What are we going to see next?
Well, I will tell you that what we would have been going to would have been just another FCS conference. We would have just changed FCS conferences. And so the goal of being FBS was a harder pathway there, because we were depending on Dixie State and Southern Utah to get their programs up to snuff so we can go. So the idea of being FBS in 2024 was probably not going to happen. It might be 2030
so
by
you
the
think
time
you
that
guys
happens.
believe you're much better positioned this way?
We're better situated to have the control in our hands, so that if we decide that we want to go FBS independent, or we can find another conference that has FBS football, then it gives us the option. And so our goal is to rebuild the Southland Conference and rebrand it, redo everything, and have a new Southland Conference.
And also, your experience, you're going back to night games.
Yes.
I would prefer 6 o'clock. You guys are saying 7. Give us a little deadline cushion for overtime. But part of that is, are you going to enhance? You've done a great job with enhancing the Friday night. How about the game experience? You know, we see at Notre Dame, you have the light show. At Wisconsin, they do the jump around after 3 quarters. Is there something you guys can bring to kind of?
Did you see what Murray State's doing?
No.
You know, they're the what, Pacers or Racers?
Racers.
They're the
Racers,
Racers.
yeah.
They're 30 minutes from Lexington, Kentucky. You know, from the fairgrounds there. So what they do, they brought out a horse stall, a starting gate, and their players, they open the starting gate, the horse comes out, and the players come running through the starting gate. Just, you know, little different things like that. But I think Coach and them have a plan.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about a lot. I mean, you look at our game day experience now. Compared to everyone else in the league, and it's better. And every single week we're talking about how can we do it better and better and better. Playing at night next year will really help us. The Friday night block parties are here to stay. I think that our goal was to make it a whole weekend. You know, you look at from Friday at 5 o'clock all the way till, you know, Saturday at midnight. We want that to be an experience, really to give back to the tailgaters and those things. And we have a lot of things. I mean, we've just scratched the surface of what we can do and what we're going to do.
I want to say that is the one thing I hear is they'd like to see a better experience of, and I said, well, maybe give them time once you get back at night. I think night will change a lot of that, the optics of that. Well, I want to congratulate you guys. We'll see if it works out, but interesting times, if nothing else. And here's a guy who couldn't get Crookshausen and A.J. Lawson to share a bathroom. And he went out and got a guy, and he hired a new basketball coach who gets a technical foul quicker than he got his first technical foul. Look at that.
True.
I thought that was impossible.
And he called me afterwards and apologized. Man, it happens. I know.
But let me tell you, Jim, I'm just thankful to the Southland Conference presidents for trusting us, for being a part of this and bringing us back like this. It took a lot on their part to do it, and I'm thankful to them for that. And we're going to see a much better and improved Southland Conference as we go forward.
We'll be back. We'll be getting Coach's final thoughts right after this. We're back for the final segment with Coach, and I guess Christmas is coming. Anything you want for Christmas from us? I already got your present.
No.
I already got your present.
I got your present too.
Nah, it's not happening.
No, I'm going to bring it. I'm actually going to bring it on
Yours
air.
is much better.
I don't think so. I think Poke Nation will like my present to you more.
I think my wife will like it better. That's what you're talking about. Final seconds.
Yeah.
Basketball starting. The women's team already set a school record for threes. Awesome. Completely different program.
Yeah.
30 seconds in. How exciting is that for you?
I'm excited about both
Besides
programs.
the fact that you can't sit down during the game.
Well, hey, I'm always going to cheer for our teams. And obviously, I've spent 26 years on a sideline. So, basketball is always going to be very dear to my heart. But I am really excited about both programs. And you're right. The women's team is just remarkably better. From A to Z, and I'm really, really excited. And our men's team is good too. I went to their first game at TCU, and we have good players, and John's doing a great job. I really like his staff.
Got some shots.
For sure, got to make some shots, but it's great. It's going to be a really, really fun winter, and I cannot wait to be in the Legacy Center in January.
No, that's what everybody's looking forward to.
No doubt.
For you guys now, last concert coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got to turn on your concert host, concert promoter logo for a minute. What are we going to see Friday night?
Oh, the Chiwis are awesome. It's a cover band with 80s music. They're wild. They're crazy.
I might go with 80s music.
For sure.
I'd go with 70s.
Like, they are
I'd
so
go with
fun.
Sinatra. I'd go with Sinatra.
They are so fun.
I would go with Sinatra.
They are so fun. Everyone in the state was calling me, or people throughout the state, like, man, you got the Chiwis coming. Like, don't miss this one. This is the last one. It is going to be phenomenal.
And as far as that goes, have you gotten any negative on it? Because all I've heard is positive.
No, I mean, what could be negative about free concert in the Grove to promote McNeese, McNeese Athletics, McNeese University?
Are you still getting up on stage?
I just get up to thank everybody, but I'm in and out. And but it is an unbelievable night, and people, and it's going to catch on and catch on. Our students really enjoy it, and it's a great time. I mean, if you come, I'll buy you a beer.
You're always, it's a free beer.
Nothing's free. I have to buy the beer, but it's for you. It's free. See?
You always try to get me out. It's past my bedline.
Bring your wife. Bring your family.
We went to the first one.
I know. And you should come to the last one. You don't want to miss the Chiwis. I'm telling you, they're really good, Jim.
I just want a good press box seat. Just give me the...
I'll even bring a chair so you can sit down.
Last press box, I got middle of the 50-yard line. That's all I want.
Wow. That's really good. They took care of you. Mm-hmm.
They've taken care of me.
For sure. For sure.
And, of course, I got to sit there every halftime and watch you get interviewed.
I know. Hey, where did you get the shoes from, by the way? I know we took them off the set. Where did you get the shoes from?
Jessica from up front.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
No place like home. I don't know why you thought that was Cinderella. That kind of worried me a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know where to go with you.
See, that's where you got to... Where to go with me? I'm the easiest guy in the world to work with.
Hey, but really, though, I'm telling you, basketball is going to be really good. We have our last football game this Saturday at home against Northwestern. It's senior night. Really, really want Pope Nation to come out. And this program's been through a lot. And basketball's getting ready to go and cranked up again. And it's a great time.
It has been through a lot. It'll be interesting to see what he does with it with a full offseason.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next week on Poke Nation. And who knows where we'll be or what our props will be.